Welcome to Global Trends. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon for more breaking updates. The summer of 2025 is marked not by crowds but by an eerie quiet across America's tourist hotspots. Once bustling streets now stand silent, their usual energy replaced by a sense of absence that is impossible to ignore. From Miami's sun-soaked beaches to the neon-lit casinos of Las Vegas, emptiness has replaced the usual buzz, leaving local economies struggling. The vibrant scenes that defined these destinations have faded, replaced by shuttered storefronts and quiet sidewalks. Airports and landmarks once teeming with international visitors now echo with silence. The lines at customs have vanished, and the chatter of foreign languages has all but disappeared. The sudden drop in tourism has shocked the industry, cutting off a vital stream of revenue for countless communities. Hotels, restaurants, and souvenir shops that once thrived on a steady flow of guests now face uncertainty and mounting losses. The US was once a top global destination, its tourism industry supporting millions of jobs. In years past, visitors from every corner of the globe flocked to experience America's landmarks, culture, and natural wonders. Now, hotel lobbies are empty, restaurants have vacant tables, and the nation's welcome mat seems to have been pulled in. The sense of hospitality that once defined the American travel experience feels distant, almost forgotten. In Times Square, fewer foreign voices are heard. At the Grand Canyon, tour buses run half full. Iconic attractions that once overflowed with visitors now see only a trickle, their guides and staff left waiting for crowds that never arrive. This is a nationwide crisis, not just a regional blip. From small towns that rely on summer visitors to major cities built on global appeal, the impact is felt everywhere. The World Travel and Tourism Council warns the U.S. is the only major economy seeing tourism revenue shrink in 2025. Analysts point to a combination of policy changes, global uncertainty, and shifting perceptions as key factors. The consequences go beyond economics. Tourism is a form of soft power, and its decline erodes America's global image. The loss of international visitors means fewer cultural exchanges and diminished influence on the world stage. As tourist spots empty, the nation faces a deeper question: how to rebuild trust and restore its reputation abroad. The challenge is not just to bring back visitors, but to rekindle the sense of welcome that once made America a beacon for travelers. The Great American Emptying is more than lost dollars. It's a crisis of perception and influence, one that will take time, effort, and imagination to overcome. At the heart of the tourism collapse are new policies and rhetoric since Trump's return to office. The shift has been swift and unmistakable, with the effects rippling far beyond America's borders. What was once a beacon for global travelers has become a source of anxiety and hesitation. The America First agenda, with stricter immigration rules and aggressive enforcement, has created fear and uncertainty for would-be visitors. New visa restrictions, unpredictable entry requirements, and stories of travelers being turned away have all contributed to a sense of unease. Many now hesitate to travel, worried about intrusive questioning or being denied entry. Even those with approved documents feel unsure, as the rules seem to change overnight and enforcement appears arbitrary. The administration's anti-international rhetoric and public criticisms have soured global sentiment. Headlines around the world highlight a less welcoming America, and social media amplifies every negative encounter. This hostile image is a powerful deterrent, undoing decades of work by the U.S. travel industry. Years of building trust and excitement have been eroded in a matter of months, leaving businesses and workers in limbo. Protectionist tariffs and trade disputes have further strained relations, making travel to the U.S. a political statement. For many, visiting America now feels like endorsing a set of divisive policies. The so-called Trump slump is the result of chaotic immigration changes, nationalist rhetoric, and trade wars. The numbers tell a stark story: fewer bookings, more cancellations, and a growing sense that the U.S. is no longer the world's playground. Together, these factors have built a narrative of an America closing itself off. The country's borders, both physical and psychological, seem less open than ever before. The chilling effect is profound, turning a year of expected recovery into a crisis for American tourism. Hotels, restaurants, and attractions that once bustled with international guests now face uncertainty and financial strain. The message abroad is clear: the U.S. feels less welcoming, and visitors are choosing friendlier destinations. Competing countries are seizing the opportunity, rolling out the red carpet for travelers who might once have chosen America. The damage to America's image may outlast the policies themselves, leaving a legacy of lost goodwill and missed opportunities that could take years to repair. The downturn is hitting America's iconic cities hard, leaving once bustling streets eerily silent. Las Vegas saw an 11% drop in visitors this June, with international arrivals down 13%, a blow to its vibrant tourism industry. Miami's airports lost 400,000 passengers in the first half of 2025, marking the worst decline since 2017 and shaking the local economy. Restaurants and hotels are suffering deeply, especially as fewer Latin American and European tourists arrive to fill their rooms and tables. Houston's tourism numbers plummeted 20%, devastating hotels, cultural venues, and the workers who depend on them. These aren't just numbers, they're lost jobs, empty seats, and struggling businesses, fighting to survive every single day. The prosperity of cities like Las Vegas, Miami, and Houston is now threatened by decisions made far away in Washington, D.C. The US-Canada relationship has chilled dramatically in 2025, with Canadian visits to the US collapsing. Once a symbol of open borders and close friendship, the connection between the two countries now feels strained and uncertain. The impact is visible everywhere, from empty highways to shuttered border crossings. Air travel from Canada is down 21%, a major blow since Canadians are a top source of US tourists. Flights that once bustled with families and business travelers now sit half-empty or cancelled altogether, leaving airports eerily quiet. Airlines and travel agencies are feeling the pinch, with bookings to the US at their lowest in years. Political tensions are a key factor. Prime Minister Trudeau called for a boycott of US travel, urging Canadians to spend their money elsewhere. The move has sparked passionate debate across Canada, with many citizens supporting the call as a stand for national values and dignity. Land border crossings have plummeted, with Niagara Falls seeing a 42% drop and the Vancouver-Seattle crossing down 48%. Once busy tourist hotspots now stand nearly deserted, impacting not just tourism but the entire local economy. For border towns, this is an existential threat to local businesses. Shops, restaurants, and hotels that relied on cross-border traffic are struggling to survive, with some forced to close their doors for good. Many Canadians now avoid the US, citing concerns about hostile treatment and an unwelcoming political climate. Stories of negative experiences at the border have spread quickly, making people think twice before planning a trip south. The economic loss is significant, and the deep cultural ties between the two nations are fraying. Communities that once celebrated their cross-border connections now face uncertainty and loss, wondering when or if things will return to normal. Canadians are choosing to travel within their own country or to Europe instead. Domestic tourism is booming, and European destinations are seeing a surge in Canadian visitors as people look for alternatives to the US. Rebuilding trust will require more than marketing. It demands a shift in political tone, genuine dialogue, and a renewed commitment to the partnership that has long defined the US-Canada relationship. The tourism crisis is starkly visible in airline schedules and booking data. Air Canada's US passenger numbers dropped by over 13%, with some routes down by a third. Flair Airlines saw a 55% drop to Las Vegas. Avianca's Miami routes fell 12%. Declines from Latin America and Europe have forced airlines to cut routes, creating a vicious cycle of reduced connectivity. Bookings for summer 2025 were down sharply from key countries like the Netherlands, Germany, Ecuador, and Mexico. Travelers are booking trips closer to departure, reflecting deep uncertainty. This last-minute trend makes it hard for airlines and hotels to plan, signaling a lack of confidence in the US as a destination. The industry faces instability as visitors wait until the last moment to commit. The human cost of the tourism slump is severe, with job losses hitting hospitality workers hardest. In Las Vegas, the Culinary Workers Union links layoffs and reduced hours directly to the downturn. Immigrant workers, who make up a large share of the industry, are especially vulnerable. Aggressive immigration enforcement has created fear, deterring both workers and their families from traveling or spending. In Nevada, immigrants contribute over $20 billion to the economy. When they feel under siege, everyone suffers. Families face uncertainty as once stable jobs disappear. Labor unions are highlighting these stories, arguing that current policies are both morally and economically damaging. The Trump slump's true cost is measured in lost paychecks and disrupted lives. The travel industry is fighting back with discounts, waived fees, and aggressive marketing. Hotels and casinos in cities like Las Vegas are slashing prices to lure guests, but profits are eroding. Tourism boards are launching campaigns focused on America's beauty and diversity, trying to sidestep politics. Some travelers are choosing blue states or booking last minute for flexibility. The The industry knows these are temporary fixes. Real recovery needs a change in government tone and policy. Lobbyists are pressing Washington for a more welcoming approach. Until the message from the top changes, the industry faces an uphill battle to convince the world America's doors are open. The path to recovery is political as much as economic.